Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Kona 2 cast. I'm joined here by my two good friends, Braden Coriath and Dakota Vega, and I'm your main host. I'm Connor.
Coriath.
Well, I think today's going to be a pretty good episode. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got Texas, a couple leagues to talk about. I know Braden is excited for this episode, so we'll let him take it away with probably his favorite topic today.
Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott breaking the winless streak. The 3Y pass for the lead. Are you kidding me? In the box booth, these guys are just straight faced. No reaction. Mike Joy, no reaction. He's just like,
they did not care. It was so funny.
I love Mike Joy, but oh brother, he's on a bit of a decline. It's just, I don't know what's going on.
It's weird because it felt like at the start of the season with the 500, he was 10 years younger.
They started with so much energy, and then it just disappeared.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at the finish to Atlanta. That was an all-time Mike Joy call.
It was. It really was. And for whatever reason,
and that's over 20 years of, some of the most iconic calls.
Yeah, it was.
Ever?
I'd say ever. Yeah. And for whatever reason, just you get to
it just kind of fell.
The long, boring stretch of the season, and they just don't care. I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I like Kevin Harvick in the booth, but sometimes
I think he's great.
Pulling out some of the cringiest jokes. What are we doing?
I know what you're talking about, and you're talking about the Phil Surgeon joke.
Yes,
and
but
I died inside at the half lap of dead damn silence after that joke. I died inside.
Yeah, some of the quote unquote trendy words that he uses, like TikTok lingo. It's just weird.
Hold on. Sometimes he says them in the right context.
He
where
does.
It's like, yeah, I know I'm old. I'm gonna say this, and it kind of sounds funny when he does.
Funny old man, yeah. But then he just
sometimes it's in the right context.
It's just weird. Like, can we just call the race, guys?
And listen.
Here's the other thing about Harvick. He's great in the booth, but he needs to leave Clint the hell alone. First off, he just needs was it me or did they just excessively beat the hell out of Clint last at Texas?
I didn't watch the race, so don't come at me for that. But I didn't watch it.
I watched it, but for most of the race, I just kind of didn't have the audio on because I was doing something.
They were really far up as you know what because they were making jokes about how he was hungover because he was at bars all night the night before, and it was like, dude.
It's like, yeah, maybe he was, and maybe outside of the booth, you guys pick on him and tease him and stuff. But we are on live television trying to call a professional sport. Why are we acting like we're guys at a barbecue?
That's not national TV joke.
That's the vibe they're going for.
Really.
It's annoying.
That's not sports.
That's
joke.
my third F-bomb. It's my third F-bomb. I'm getting a little heated. Sorry, I apologize. Third one of the night, but it's I don't understand. They see the success that NBC has, and they just completely go a different direction.
I have to say something. Yeah. I don't understand the hate that NBC gets. Yes, it has its issues, but there are people who genuinely defend NBC. Fox over NBC, and I do not get it because NBC's broadcast is so much better.
And listen, pushing onto that, to advance that to another level, Rick Allen is so underrated.
Truly, I think he is.
I agree.
He can be a little bland with his calls, very generic, but at least there's energy.
Sometimes
it is the most boring race in the world, and you're into it because he makes it interesting.
Sometimes
he's got that fourth quarter. Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes he connects words and it sounds a little bland. Yeah. They come out of turn 4 and it's like
Harvick, Blaney.
Harrison Burton turns left.
There's literally been times where Harrison Burton turns left. There's
Harrison Burton turns left. The stroke he had 2 weeks earlier calling the end of Kansas.
Yeah. He's got his moments, but he's a good announcer.
he's got an incredible fourth quarter voice.
Yeah,
dude, he's great. I love Rick Allen.
When it's crunch time, and he's trying to purvey the fact that this is it. He's great at it.
And also, a lot of people don't like Steve Letarte. Do we have any Steve Letarte haters in here?
I'm one of those, actually. I'm actually not. I don't. It's not that I don't like him. It's just that I don't know if what he adds to the broadcast is enough to make a 4-man booth worth it.
I like him.
I don't know if the 4-man booth works. I like Steve, and
because the setup they have, they've got 2 duos, right? You've got
not anymore.
They've got a 4-man.
Dale's
you've
gone.
got Rick and Steve.
Gone
that's right. Dale's gone.
But now it's Rick, Steve, and Jeff.
I'm not going to lie, the quality's definitely going to go down a good bit.
It will. It's going to be.
I think it is
a little harder to get through,
but not significantly. I don't think.
What's his name? They just announced they're bringing in the IndyCar guy. He does IndyCar.
Oh,
right?
that's right.
Is it Lee Diffie?
I don't know.
Is that his name?
Lee Diffie. Yes.
That's going to be some good energy.
Listen, I was one of the only people that sort of disliked that.
Let's hear why.
That's just not a voice I could imagine in NASCAR. Whenever that Xfinity race,
Kyle Larson with a blinding restart.
It sounds so weird. It just doesn't sound right.
You don't think the blinding restart was a good call?
I think that I don't know how to explain it. I can't. I know what he does. I know how good he is.
You think what he said was good, but you don't like.
Is it because he's not Southern?
You find the Australian accent weird, don't you?
It's extremely
off-putting relative to what you're used to, and that's fine.
It is so off-putting, and I just don't feel like. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
For me personally,
I think it's going to be good because he's really good.
He's really good. He brings a lot of
energy. He's absolutely unreal. Don't get me wrong. I've heard what he does. I've heard what he's done.
His 500 calls are some of the best calls flat out ever.
Yeah,
he's absolutely unreal.
And I know that he can. If I believe they're at the back half of the season, right, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And think about that. Holy playoff Diffie.
Yeah, that's going to be really good.
Oh my god! Imagine they have Diffie doing a cutoff race.
I'm assuming my mind will change very quick after one race.
I think it will.
Well,
I think it will.
We kind of got off topic. We were going to talk about.
Anyways,
we were going to talk about Chase Elliott.
We talked broadcast.
Chase Elliott breaks the winless streak. Are you kidding me?
42 race winless.
Well, let's talk about that.
And over these past few weeks, he's been getting closer and closer and closer. And then he's over the whole season, he's been good. But he's just been getting absolutely over by some of the situations that are happening in these races. He's finishing top 15 when he was literally running in the top 5.
Yeah.
Because of this next-gen car and of how
he never
god-awful it is.
Worse than 19th this season. He was...
And now here he's in victory lane. And this is the exact way that he set up his 2022 run. They've been up front every week. They weren't up front. I will say this. They were not up front at Texas. They came out of nowhere at Texas. But he's been up front. He's been up front most of these weeks. He's been qualifying really good too.
Yeah, Alan Guff's
qualifying better than he does usually. And they're getting momentum.
I think personally,
and they're coming.
There's the whole topic, the whole conversation piece right now is Chase Elliott back? I'm not so convinced yet. I need to see him running. I know he's running well, but Chase Elliott. Championship-winning Chase Elliott was dominating races. He was leading laps, and we haven't exactly seen that yet. Now, don't get me wrong. I have faith that Chase Elliott and Alan Gustafson and that Hendrick 9 group can do that. It's just we haven't seen it yet, and I'm not going to say that he's back until that happens. It's great that he's in the playoffs. It's great that he got his win. I'm super happy for him. I'm not a Chase Elliott fan, but anytime a driver's struggling to get wins and they finally break through, it's always nice to see, but I don't think he's back until I see that.
That's fine.
I think it's weird that I just find it extremely weird that we're even asking that question. Just is Chase Elliott? It's weird. It's weird to me that Chase Elliott was not back, but he really wasn't last year.
No, I mean he was
and
running
the
well.
missed races
didn't win.
You know, he was running well, but he just wasn't running in first.
Yeah, and
he only led 195 laps.
And that's the Chase Elliott that we aren't used to. We're used to seeing him lead half the laps in a race and dominate the final 200 laps.
Yeah, I mean, a quarter of the way through this season already, and he's already got almost as many laps led as he did last year entirely. So that's already a huge look up. He's got 126 laps led so far this season.
It's impressive.
And he led 195 last year. So he's really on. If you're looking relative to last year, he's really on the up and up. But I think right now he's at like 2018.
2018 Chase Elliott?
Yeah, at the moment. He's there consistently. He's up front. He's not winning a lot, but he's up front, and he's leading laps, and he's coming through occasionally.
Yeah. Well, here's what I've got.
Well, okay. Yeah, let's hear what the Chase Elliott fan in the room.
This is 2024 Chase Elliott. Okay.
Okay.
This is 2024 Chase Elliott coming off the injury, off of the disastrous season where he right hooked Denny Hamlin into the quad oval at Charlotte and got suspended for a race. Missed the playoffs, had the worst season of his entire career, and now he's got to win early quarter of the season. He's in the playoffs, and he is back. Thank you.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, I think
the only reason
got a shot.
Right.
I'm happy for him. But.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only reason I'm not necessarily in Connor's corner on this one is because I don't think he was ever gone.
And I could see the argument for that for sure.
As an Elliott fan, he was gone. The only races he ran good at last year were road courses.
And even then, he's not
and he wasn't fantastic at those either.
Amazing on road courses with this car.
And he qualified last. Looking at the numbers, if I'm really looking at the numbers, he qualified awfully.
He literally. If we're going to talk about road courses with the next gen car, let me get something else across here. Indy Road Course 2022. Chase Elliott wins that race if he doesn't get plowed by Joey Logano. 2022 Charlotte Roval, Tyler Reddick plows him. 2023 Charlotte Roval, he gets by the late caution.
Yep.
There's 3 races for you. Oh, and of course, we can't forget about Watkins Glen. 2022, when his own teammate drives through him.
You know what else we can't forget about? Watkins Glen 2023.
Running out of fuel.
When his crew chief forgot how to crew chief.
Run out of fuel. That race, that was when I shut off for that season. That's whenever I became.
You know what else? That. And we can't.
I was on autopilot.
Audibly upset.
Lest we forget, just 3 weeks ago at Kona, where he got screwed by a penalty that even I don't think he should have gotten, but
yeah,
the rule is the rule.
Just ridiculous. Yeah, he literally didn't gain any time. He lost time. It didn't make any sense.
He lost time, but it's one of those things where
and the penalty itself is crazy.
I think a drive-through for one offense is ridiculous. And I think that
a drive-through for a quarter cut? A drive-through
I think all of that needs to be worked through.
It does. It definitely needs reworked.
It's literally just a simple 3-second time penalty.
So
or they line up all the finishing positions and how many seconds apart they are. Do some simple math and then give the time penalty that way to where they might actually lose a position or two.
Yeah.
Have to finish it.
Yeah,
it's just a time penalty. That's it.
There are ways to go about it, but I don't. That's not even
the stop and go.
So from one From one Texas
How about we come back to
racetrack.
how about we come back to this in 2 months at Sonoma?
Yes, let's do that. From one Texas racetrack to another, what do you guys think about the racing that we saw on Sunday?
Xfinity's the answer.
Because
Well,
I
I
didn't
mean,
watch it.
we don't really talk about the other series, but I do want to
have
mention
nothing
absolutely
to say
incredible.
about it, but I'm curious what you guys think because I've heard that it has been, in a lot of people's eyes, the best Texas race in recent history. But I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
Sure, it was chaotic. Sure, there were the moments, but nobody. It was, I don't know. You knew it was really predictable. You knew it was going to happen. You knew what was going to happen next.
Wasn't it some crazy number like 14 cautions?
It was 16 cautions. It tied the record from 2022.
Wow. Okay.
Coming into turn one. Coming into turn 1 and coming out of turn 4, since the track is built like it's really hard to get the car into the corner in turn 1 and really hard to get off the corner in turn 4. If you're not in the groove in turn 4, you spin. Yeah. No ifs, ands, or buts. You spin. Simple as that. You spin. And anytime someone tried to pass for the lead, pedal to the floor, you're trying to get the run off the corner. Around. You spun on the outside. You just spun.
Even not trying to pass, even just being up there, Like if
you miss the groove, just barely, like say like a small gust of wind shifts your car just slightly, you hit one marble, you drift up the track, you spin.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's the only problem I have with that. If that was the case on a 20-year-old surface, I wouldn't have that much of an issue with that because that makes sense.
But
this is a 7-year-old surface.
It's not aging the way that it needs to age. It's
a 7-year-old surface that's aged twice, if not more than that, as fast as most tracks.
Worst build.
And that obviously makes it Texas something. That's probably just a Texas.
Exactly, Texas Sun, but at the same time, it is it feels like any well, hold on. Pre-2014 Texas, or like 2014 and before, or 2017. Well, I guess
2017 was the reconfig.
I feel like they went through a few. Pre-2015, 2014, Texas was a pretty damn track. In that time span,
one of the best. Texas was a top 2-3 mile and a half on the schedule.
Let's see. Like before that repave, that whole era to where that track was untouched. It was great. And the reconfig, they've adjusted the track like 20 times, it feels like.
The thing about old Texas is that it was Charlotte with more grooves.
Well, older Texas was just broken, right? Because whenever Texas was first the thing, the track was the most poorly made thing in the history of the sport. They had to redo it. I think they had to redo it twice, actually. Because the first time it was a joke. Then the second time it was also a joke. Well, in the first ever Texas race,
yeah, the first Texas race ever was a disaster.
In the first ever Texas race, they go into turn 1 and they all die.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure.
Honestly, I've never seen that race. So.
I swear to God,
I haven't watched it, but I've heard it was awful. They wrecked the whole field on lap 1.
They try and reconfigure it again, and then it's bad again. And then they try and do it again, and I think they fix it on the third try. They might have even messed up on the third try again. I'm not sure, but I remember the track went through a few different changes.
As far as I know, this is the third try. This config is the third try.
I think
I don't remember them doing anything between. I think they never reconfigured it after 97, 98. If the first cup race was 97,
there was the first ever race.
96.
It was a disaster.
And then they probably reconfigured it after that. So 97 to 16 would have been Texas V2. And then we would have gotten Texas V3 and 17, which is what we have now. I think.
That sounds right.
Let me do some quick
So
research.
here's the thing about New Texas. The reason it sucks in Cup is because we haven't had a good package on it.
Yeah, we saw a good race in Xfinity.
We had it in. Well, I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
We had okay races in 17 and 18, and then we had the 550 package, and the 550 package ruined everything.
Yes, it did.
And we saw that in 19. We saw that in 20. We saw that. Was there a Texas race in 21?
Yeah, there was.
What the hell happened in that race?
Larson
Larson won that,
two.
didn't he?
One was the All-Star race.
Larson won both of them.
I think so.
Larson won both of them, and they were and the fact that I don't remember it says everything you need to know.
Yeah.
22 was a disaster because of tires, and that was Goodyear's fault / NASCAR's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was honestly.
What happened last year?
What
I don't
even happened
remember.
last year? What even happened? But if we just look at Xfinity's had actually quite good races on the reconfiguration. We look at 2018, it had a great finish. 2020 had a great finish with Harrison Burton turning left.
Yes.
That was a good finish. 21 had Nemechek. 22 was Reddick, and then oh my God, who won the second? Nemechek again? Hold on.
Maybe.
Did Nemechek go 2 in a row in the Fall Texas race? I gotta look at this now. God, I think he might have. Fall 22. Oh, Fall 22 was Gregson. That was on his 10 million in a row streak.
Oh, that's right. And I forget
Nemechek won last year. Yeah, that was in Gregson's stretch of 5 straight wins or something like that.
And then he went on to not win the championship.
And then he didn't win the championship. But Texas has had a lot of good finishes, and I think the problem there's a problem with the track, and there's a problem with the Cup car. The problem with the track is that they just got it wrong, and it's just one of those things that you can't fix really necessarily. They got turn 1 wrong, and I think they got turn 1 wrong, and I think. Honestly, I don't think turn 4 was that bad, but I think they got turn 1 wrong just because they made it 8 car lengths wide and then made 2 of those lanes usable.
But weren't a lot of the issues yesterday or Sunday, in turns 3 and 4?
Yes, and
turn 1 as well.
Turn 1 had issues, but those weren't all track issues. The track issues were in turn 4. The issues in 3 and 4 make another problem for Texas, because the problem in 1 and 2 is that you can't pass because there's no outside groove, and now you can't pass in 3 and 4 because if you try to go to the outside you spin. So now where do you pass at Texas?
Nowhere.
I don't think you do. It's already kind of like the next gen car.
You kind of just can't anymore. At least in the Cup car, and we saw in the Xfinity race you can pass plenty
because those cars are properly made.
Because those cars are stock cars,
perfect horsepower, aerodynamics, perfection,
and not spoilerized V8 supercars.
It is perfection.
So
and the Xfinity,
I would do a lot of I would do a lot of very illicit acts to get the Cup Series and the Xfinity cars.
Yeah.
I will not speak any further on that.
Well, I think.
Do you guys have anything else to say?
How about Talladega? We're looking forward to Talladega, brother.
These are my final 2 cents on Texas. I'm glad it's a spring race so we can get it out of the way.
Yeah.
That's honestly what I've got to say about it. I'm glad it's a spring race so we don't have to make this the playoff issue. Yeah. Because when we had a playoff Texas race in 2022, it caused issues.
Yes.
Cough Bowman.
One of the worst races I've ever seen. I was so pissed off.
One of the worst races I've ever seen, and it cost the driver their playoffs, and that was really.
I was so embarrassed.
I'm not even a Bowman fan.
I was so embarrassed after that.
Honestly, I don't really care much for Bowman. I have no issue with him, but I just don't care too much for him. But no, that's
you know what we did
wrong.
Get that race? We got the Cody Ware wreck. That's what we got.
We got that was a scary wreck.
That was scary, and I'm not I'm not gonna cheer the guy again. I know he's a piece of shit. I don't stand by anything he did, but I also don't stand by making fun of somebody getting hurt in a car accident.
Yeah.
That's just not my deal.
Yeah.
You can. I don't care if you do, but I'm not gonna laugh with you on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm just glad that we don't have to have a Texas playoff race anymore because it is not gonna work.
So do we have anything else to say about Texas?
Talladega, that's what I gotta tell you, brother. Talladega,
there was apparently a truck race, but Kyle Busch won, so
yes,
that's all
Busch
you need to know.
Congratulations.
Kyle Busch won, and there you go.
Anything else NASCAR related that we would like to mention
Talladega,
before we get into our
brother, let me hear what you got to say about that, brother. Oh yeah, brother, we're going to Talladega.
You've been joined by Hulk Hogan.
Talladega, I'm always looking forward to.
The super speedway package has been cooking recently. Talladega is going to be absolute cinema because last year when they figured out how to use the top lane, like I have been saying in my head, the whole race. Just go up there.
When they figured Talladega out, it was great.
It was.
Dude, oh my god, they went to the top lane finally. How'd they do that? How'd they figure that out? Oh my god. What? They tried to make it 3 wide? What?
I do have to say, the super speedway package is kind of ace. They actually kind of nailed it with the super speedway. With the way
they finally got it figured out.
I tell you what, at first it was a little sketchy.
Do anything.
And then, but because here's the thing, I think Atlanta had a lot of help to do with it. Because after that fall Atlanta race or the summer night one, whatever you want to call it, they had to move around a lot, and they realized how the air moves with this car a little more. I think. So whenever they went to Dega, they just laid their balls on the table. They just straight up laid their nuts on the desk, and they went to work.
Yeah, I mean, and that's it's one of those things where like NASCAR actually figured the package out, and now the drivers have to figure the package out, and now they're doing it.
Hopefully,
and like we saw
Talladega's gonna cook.
Hopefully,
last year Summer Daytona race, they can put on something that's like.
I noticed. They like to go out there and have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's something about it in these guys. It kind of just proves to you once again how big their balls are. Because over these past 20 years after since the safety's been improving so much, it kind of feels like the risk is a little lower, but it's not at the same time, right? Like I feel like that facade. I'm saying there's like a facade.
That has its pros and its cons, though. Like you're right in the safety has improved, but sometimes it's like, guys, we don't need to be making moves like that. Someone's gonna get hurt.
After the Ryan Newman wreck, a lot of things changed. I feel like.
That's true.
Yes,
that's true.
Like mindset wise, because
we had
2020,
because that race was coming off of Talladega 2019, arguably the greatest super speedway race of all time.
And Brendan Gaughan does the Clint Boyer flip over the pack. It's one of the most glorious wrecks.
So we come to Daytona in 20. And then this happens, and then Newman happens, and that was us based. That was NASCAR basically being told, okay, all right, great package. You're gonna kill somebody though.
I genuinely thought Ryan Newman was dead.
Oh, I think we all did.
Yeah,
you can tell Jeff Gordon and Mike Joy were holding their breath. They knew. They've seen it before.
The Fox covers may not have made a deal of it, but they knew.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horrifying.
So hopefully we have a good race and we don't eat our words.
Yeah, good race.
Oh, I don't think we got to worry about that. Like I said before, we went on that little tangent right there. These guys have fun. Like they're starting to have fun in these cars. Like after these interviews, they're literally saying that they're having fun.
Yeah, they are.
Like after Atlanta, guys were saying they had fun. People, drivers never say that. Mm-hmm. They never get on their knees for plate races. They're always talking shit. They're always talking shit. It's the worst weekend of the year. We're going to kill somebody out here. And then, now these guys are having fun?
Can I say something a little bit that might be a bit hot? A hot take?
Go for it.
Oh, here we go.
I hope there's like a green flag run worth of just like the first 15 car single file, like in the middle of stage 2. Like
Okay.
I don't need 2 and 3 wide all day.
Here's the thing.
I agree with that.
Here's the thing. Hold on. Let me drop some. Let me drop some Dr. Fartley Knowledgeano here. There's an example of single file train racing that ruins a race, and then there's an example of it that really shapes it up into one of those big, great races that we all remember, right? Whenever the first ever Gen 6 package, the single file, it was awful, it was unwatchable, right? That's a bad version.
Yep.
Xfinity at Atlanta this year, that's a great example, and I remember that specifically because I had to sit through that in the freezing cold.
That didn't work.
No.
That was brutal. And then there's the single, like in these Daytona 500s. In these Daytona 500s, there's that span in the middle of the race where they really, they relax and they realize they got to make it through this. And the tension that builds in your heart and your body and your chest, it's crazy. I can't even describe how stressed I get in some of these play races.
It happens to me just watching it at home.
They'll go single file. They go single file, and then it's like, okay, 40 to go. Okay, 30 to go. Okay, 20 to go. And then they start making moves.
Okay, now they pit.
And then things are getting a little more intense, and they get those green flag pits that are just before that last run.
Yep.
And you scale the field, scrambles out, and then they just start duking it out. And here's when it gets even better. They start duking it out. 10 laps to go. They've been going crazy, 3-2 wide. They've almost wrecked a few times for like 10 laps, from lap 20 to go to 10 to go. And then they go single file again.
Yeah.
And then, and then they line back up, and you're like,
guys, there's 7 to go.
They go again.
Connor. That's the eye of the storm.
Oh no, I'm aware.
Of the storm. That's 7 to go.
Yeah.
That's 7 to go, where they all
single file again,
file in, and just ready up. That's the eye of the storm. That's
agree.
When it feels. That's when the race feels the quietest.
That's why Daytona 500s. That's why they've been hitting hard these past years.
It's the quietest
why.
part of the race, but it's when my heart is pounding the most.
And the announcers don't know what to say. I mean, there's literally nothing, and the booth is usually pretty quiet because there's nothing to say.
There's so much tension. You don't.
There's like so much tension, especially in a playoff
Everyone, it's just the tension that builds. You can feel it radiate off the environment that you see on TV.
You're waiting.
It feels like you're in the car.
And you're waiting, and then finally someone pulls out, and then
everything
all hell
explodes.
breaks loose, and it's
and then you see a crazy wreck, and you're freaking out, like, oh my god, what? Oh, they're going all over the place. It's just, oh my god, it's unreal.
The thing about Talladega, though, is that it doesn't always give that. Like the last,
it's usually only Daytona.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of the next gen plate Talladega races have had like relatively tame endings.
Yeah, they've been relatively.
And it's because I feel like it's because they really use that room. I feel like it's because the cars are going, that slow. And not that slow. They're going like top 180s, lower 190s.
They're going around 192 is about where they top off. 192, 193.
And they kind of slow down, and they're able to use all that all the track. They got a lot of track to use, and they're able to do the big 2 wide 2x2x2 through the pack, 3x3.
That's why they can do. They're able to really pull that off. 3x3 at Talladega because there's plenty of space for it.
And they do it in a very orderly fashion. I've noticed these past few years. I mean, it looks like an AI race on NR.
It does.
They look so nice. It's nice to watch. That's why I like the races. I mean, the Talladega races for me in the Gen 10 have been great.
Yeah.
It's nice to look at.
People say, like, oh, the plate races don't take skill, but when you watch them be that orderly and professional with it, that takes so much skill. Because, I mean, we've all had our bad luck with plate races on NR. It takes some skill to run well. You have people in the fields around us who have never raced a plate race before, and they wreck the field because they don't know how to race in a pack. They don't know how to... I know it's NR, it's a 20-year-old game, but like there is an energy there. You can feel the air around you. You have to learn how to manage that, and a lot of these usually kids don't know how to do it. And it's
usually kids.
Not saying that like I'm super good at it.
Get in there, Kona. Get in there.
Not saying that I'm super good at it either, but it takes skill, and it shows how just good the Cup drivers are. You see it in the Truck Series. They don't know how to races at all.
Oh, I forgot.
But that's a whole nother conversation.
Connor. Oh man, dude, it's my birthday tomorrow. We should have done like a.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, yeah. It's my birthday, and it's like an hour and 30 minutes. It's my birthday. I was gonna tell you, and then we could have introduced. I don't know. It just would have felt formal if we did that in the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
But here we are now. Oh my God, it's my birthday. I just linked it. Oh my God.
News. Okay.
So shameless plug.
Speaking of NR, let's move on to a couple of the leagues that we're in.
Let's move to NR.
Unless you guys have anything else to say about NASCAR.
Let's move on. I'm excited for Talladega. Let's move on. That's
the
most we've ever talked about NASCAR.
We're done with real NASCAR.
That is the longest NASCAR segment we've had today. We will probably not beat it for a while, so let's continue.
Unless Talladega's a banger, we might talk about it for an hour, but we'll see.
Oh, brother.
So,
let's move on.
Start with let's do score.
Do we go with Norks? Okay.
Let's do score.
Okay.
Our very own
Okay.
Dakota Vega.
All right. We can start with score.
Our very own Dakota Vega is coming off of a P6 finish and is currently sitting second in the points.
Dakota.
Tell us a little bit about that, Dakota. Mr. Second in points.
Mr. Second in points. Hey, I know what it's felt like before.
It feels good.
Well, I know. Well, I know what first in points feels like, and that feels even better. But yeah, just came up, just got home, just in kayfabe, if you will, just got back from Phoenix. And yeah, put up a nice, really solid 6th place run.
What track was it?
It could have been a lot. It was Phoenix.
Phoenix, that's right.
Yeah. Why else would I have come from Phoenix?
Oh, I don't know. Some good times out there.
Yeah. Because Phoenix is where you go to party.
Arizona's a great place.
We came off of we had a good we weren't really that fast. We were consistent. There was a pretty long green run towards the end, maybe 25, actually probably like 35 laps towards the end.
I'm glad
on the last restart we got caught up in a caution cooldown on the last restart, but we weren't told that the caution cooldown was in effect until we had stopped wrecking.
Oh wow!
So we wrecked, and then as we were wrecking, Dan was like, "Oh no, caution cooldown," and we're like,
okay.
Thanks for letting us know.
Well,
but it was cool with me. I wasn't super. I was upset because I got caught in the wreck, but we ended up recovering really well to 6th.
I'm glad the.
It was. We're just putting at the moment. We're just scrapping runs together. We had 4th at Talladega in the opener. Then we went to New Hampshire and finished 5th, 6th. Where is that in my spreadsheet? Oh my God, it's not in my spreadsheet.
Oh no!
Oh my God. I don't even know when my 100th race is going to be at this point.
Well, I'm glad the guys at the virtual shop are giving you fast race cars. I pay them.
Yeah.
Pay them good money.
Mhm. Yeah. So the results so far this season score have been 4th, 6th, 5th, and 6th.
Wow. Which
is good enough for second in the standings at the moment.
Impressive.
It's just been really good. I'm on a top 10 streak of what is this? 8, 9 races.
Good.
Not counting Maverick. My top 10 streak goes back to March 23rd. So.
Wow.
I've got almost a month. I've almost got a top 10 streak going here, which is nice. Which is it's something I've needed. But it's just we're just kind of stringing runs together here. Stringing runs and sponsorships together. Of course, want to thank Los Pollos Hermanos for joining us in Phoenix, and looking forward to them joining us again.
They're a good partner for the team.
Yep, great new partner for the team. So it was nice to have them on the car and bring home a decent run for Mr. Fring.
Dakota! Yeah!
But
Just getting hyped. You're just getting Dakota!
Hopefully we can get a win out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Store
hoping so,
league.
but we'll
That
see.
felt a little aggressive, Connor.
No,
That felt a little
just,
aggressive. This guy's putting some pressure on his. He's putting some pressure
on the opposite end of the spectrum, though. I've been having a poor run here recently. I actually haven't updated my spreadsheet for North Wilkesboro in Essex, which is the most recent race there. But yeah, I've got anytime I finish worse than where I qualified, I mark the box as red. And there's a lot of red recently. A lot of red.
Yeah.
I've got a stretch of almost 4 reds in a row. Make that almost 5. Lots of sub 10, or like worse than 10th place. Which kind of leads me into Essex at North Wilkesboro. Most recent race, and boy was it a wild one. We had, honestly, some pretty good racing when we could get a run going. There was a lot of passing, there was fall off, there were comers and goers. But you had a select few. I'm not going to name any names. If you two would like to, feel free to. I'm not going to.
I'm not gonna.
As a league owner, I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus. But
I can't do that.
We had a few drivers on Friday night who decided to be weapons. And I don't want to leak anything, but it looks like one of them might be getting a suspension, and that might cause some major points changes. So.
Dakota's getting a little heated up. Dakota's getting a little fired up. Dakota's getting a little fired up.
I didn't think you'd do that.
Connor.
We're leaking information.
Nothing is official.
We're
But
leaking information.
I'm not saying anything, but I didn't think you would do that.
Kez and I have briefly talked about it, and the specific driver that we are talking about, it's looking like it's going to be a suspension. Usually I do penalties on my own, but it's so severe this week that we are planning to review it together. Just to mention a couple things.
Wow, I did not.
This driver wrecked myself and Chase Severs in the span of 2 laps. They interrupted a restart by ignoring the quiet zone rules. Afterwards, almost every single driver in general mentioned that they were spun by this car. So, if you are in Essex and you are listening,
thank you for
still being here. Thank you for still listening up to this point. But if you are looking to move up in the points, this week might be your shot to do so. But yeah, we had a pretty interesting.
So are we swinging this into North Wilkesboro?
Are we? I think we can. I think we should.
Let's go for it.
I think it's already happened. I think it already happened.
So
yeah, I think we're there.
For my race, I qualified decent. I was upper mid pack. Made my way up to the top 5 for a while. I actually had a really good car. I figured out the setup pretty well. I wasn't running the fastest lap times, but I was running competitive lap times. But I was on something else that night. I could not keep the car in one going forward. I just kept spinning mostly into turn 1, which weirdly enough was the easier corner to get into. I had a couple spins in turn 3, and I just felt like I was kind of in the way for a while there. But how did your guys' races go? Whoever wants to go first.
Well, so
Go ahead, Braden.
Qualify first ever race. I qualify last.
Did you actually qualify?
The first time.
Or?
First time I've ever qualified dead last.
He did qualify.
I've been there.
And it was
I spun on both laps. I just wasn't feeling it. Whatever. I get into the race, and I immediately get some quick momentum. I literally pass like 10 cars in like the first 5 laps.
Yeah, you were
I
up into
literally
the top
went from
5
last
quick.
to 5th place.
Yeah, you were 5th at the first caution.
So I already have some momentum.
That was a fast.
We get a few restarts, and then someone spins me. I won't name a name. They spin me, and then I'm frustrated.
That wasn't
a wreck.
That wasn't
the person that
who
we were
just talking about,
right?
No.
That was somebody
else. Are you talking about your teammate?
No.
Okay.
No, that hasn't happened yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
That's something to talk about for sure.
I know who he's talking about.
So anyway, I got sidetracked. I had to get repairs, go on pit road, right, repair the car.
Mm-hmm.
I get back on the track. As soon as I exit pit road, there's a number 6 car up high on the track.
Teammate.
Number 6 of Ryan Sievers, a teammate of mine, races at Kona 2.
He's
been
here a while.
My mother's calling me.
Oh.
Could you?
And we're back. Sorry about that.
Okay,
guys.
we're back.
Back to Braden Korioth's race at North Wilkesboro.
Thank you. Look at that. I like that.
Okay,
I like that little introduction.
He said it right.
He said it right.
All right,
okay,
so we were talking about Ryan Sievers, a teammate, a Kona 2 racing driver. What
teammate. Happened? Bum.
What happened?
Okay.
Because this was.
I'm coming off of pit road. I see this guy up high. It's my teammate. I'm like, all right,
he was doing his
wave around. Was he in the caution? I think I don't know. Maybe. I mean, obviously, he's waving around. He's by me. He's by me on the track. So obviously, something must have happened, right?
Yeah.
I come by him, and he just. I don't even know how to explain it. He just spins me.
I haven't seen the replay so I don't know what happened.
Spins me. I don't know what happened. I think it might have been like a misshift, and he like goes down into.
He might. I assume he made a mistake. He wouldn't.
Third.
He wouldn't just do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's not the kind of driver to wreck someone intentionally, especially a teammate.
Obviously not.
Obviously
not.
You two have, as far as I know, no beef on the track. You guys haven't.
No, I love Ryan Sievers. I love Ryan Sievers.
So.
Me and that guy, we bust each other's balls all the time. So, I come off of pit road. He just spins me. I'm like, okay, wow. Now I'm pissed off. God. And we go back down pit road. I got to get all sorts of repairs. It's just a disaster. The race went from fantastic to just back in the total dumpster fire of an event. So now we're finally back on the track. I'm a few laps down. We restart. I mean, the rest of the race is honestly just a blur. It is a complete and utter blur because so much happened. I was getting screwed over and over again. I kept climbing. I'd get knocked back down. I kept climb up. I'd get knocked back down. It was just ridiculous. All the way up until I DNF'd eventually. It was just complete. So I was involved in the last wreck, and I was like, yeah, no more cautions. I'm leaving. Goodbye. Yeah. So I just retired the car.
I mean, I get it. You have races like that.
I mean, it was a disaster. It was just a total disaster.
So.
But I'm aware that it was like just something I couldn't necessarily control in the biggest way.
That's one of the worst things. About
so I'm fine.
You can't.
I'm moving on to next week. I'm fine. It's whatever.
Dakota, how did your race at North Wilkesboro go?
I started 8th somehow out of 17, but I think I was actually the slowest car on track.
Were you the first guy to blow
the entire race?
I think Speed did it, but I can't remember if
Speed was the first.
Maybe.
Speed was the first. Mine came mine came at some point in the middle of the race, but I don't remember when.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get the thing figured out. We were falling back every restart. I mean, we were doing good we were trying out there. I want to thank our new crew chief Marty for giving us a good car.
Marty.
at least give us something out there.
Marty!
Marty made his debut on Friday. Also came with me to Phoenix and will be with me for all the Kona 2 races.
Marty!
Yeah,
Marty!
But yeah, I mean, Wilkes was just that. It was a really tough race for me. In terms of pace, it was really tough physically, which is another thing I can get into if I have to. But yeah, it was just ended up 6th after all of the caution, no caution, whatever the. Managed to sneak through into 6th somehow. Could have been a top 5 if I got past Severs when he wrecked. Ryan Severs, that is.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't able to get around him before he could get back going. So we settled for 6th. Fortunately, Kez was in not fortunate. Fortunately for me, unfortunately for Kez, they were in one of the late incidents and finished back in 12th, which put me within 2 points of second.
Yeah.
Which, knowing other things now, means that's really, really,
now,
really big.
I don't want to say it's confirmed. I'm just saying what we have talked about. It seems like we're both leaning that way. But
he knows he pulled it out.
So
if that's what happens, that is massive, massive, massive.
Yeah. So speaking
me
of
being
points,
able to pull those points in,
I'm sure the majority of our listeners are Essex drivers. So, Ace Lancelot is in first with 818 points, and then there's a 60-point gap back to Kez Hiller, and then, like Dakota just mentioned, a 2-point difference between second and third. And then I am 42 points behind you, Dakota.
You're there.
I'm still within striking distance, but I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting my hopes up.
Yeah, if we look at them, so if we do math, which I know is hard for us to do.
Yes.
But if we do math, like 80. I have a calculator.
I like math.
Of course I do. I like trains. So anybody with less than 566 points is mathematically ineligible to win the championship. Yes. So that actually takes Ryan Severs down. So that takes Severs, Hampton, Bennett, the one in 10th that we're not going to talk about, Jort, Ash, Gilvin, Speed, etc., are all mathematically out, and it's entirely possible that Chase could fall out of that.
Yes.
If things go the way we think they're going.
So yeah, at
Chase
the moment,
Chase may not fall out of that, but I don't think it's one of those things where, like, mathematically that's like,
yeah,
it's not gonna happen. Honestly, I feel like anybody behind Connor, I don't want to be in your face, Braden, but you're not gonna win the championship. I'm sorry.
What? Obviously. What? Like, no. Like, what? You're not being mean. Like, duh.
But, like, yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting last 3 races. Yeah, we've got a road course and 2 short tracks, and I believe by my average finishes, those are my 2. Yeah, those are actually my 2 best track types by average finish.
Yeah.
So
mathematically, there are 6 drivers.
Does that mean that I'm good at short tracks? No.
Yeah.
But I just end up finishing high in short tracks, I guess.
I am not looking forward to going to a road course. It is my least favorite kind of racing. Echo Park is the second to last race. That's going to be interesting. It's
Echo Park?
Is it Echo Park? What's it called?
It's Elko.
Elko. I'm just dumb.
Echo Park is the
name of the Texas race.
Echo Park is the thing that names Texas races.
Yeah, I got Texas on the
and also the thing that Chris Buescher has, like, a thing for dragging around.
So, okay.
Remember that when you do that? Like,
Elko is the second to last race.
You've been puffing on, Connor.
And that's going to be interesting because it's a quarter-mile-ish track. It's about a quarter mile in length. Very small.
Yeah, Elko's
shortest track on the schedule. And then we
have...
And
you quarter-mile me, Connor.
We have, in stars and spotlights, you have Iowa Speedway, which I am really excited
Iowa
for.
at the back half.
I've been practicing Iowa just for
man.
fun for the last few months, and I love Iowa. Mostly
Well,
because
since you bring up practicing at Iowa, I actually had a scheduled test at Iowa today.
oh,
We tested. We shook down a couple cars at Iowa. Also shook myself down really. We took my. Now I have to bring the chassis spreadsheet up.
I just want to give. I want to interrupt you
this
for a
is
second
how,
and give a big shout out to Dakota. If you guys don't do this, if any of you are still listening, once again, thank you. But if you are into league racing, Dakota has an entire spreadsheet of his chassis, the races that he runs, where he finishes, where he starts, and I have a similar thing.
I have a calendar.
I have just a spreadsheet with all the races that I've run. If you go back into like 2022, 2023, it's a little spotty, but as of the last 2 months or so, I've been keeping track of it, and it's a lot of fun. You should totally make a
ton of fun.
spreadsheet.
It's a ton of fun for me.
I
encourage people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's fun. I have the date, I have the track, where it's located, the track type, what car number I ran, qualifying position,
Yeah, I mean,
I track the league. It's just so much fun to keep track of. If you guys
I track down to the laps as well. I track all the way down to laps and distance as well. So like, thank you, Braden.
Let's go.
At North Wilkesboro, I surpassed 5,000 career laps run.
Congratulations.
And that's a stat that absolutely nobody would ever think about except for me.
Yeah.
So I passed 5,000 laps run last on Friday night, which was great. Another great to have another milestone with K2.
Yeah. Congratulations.
And looking forward to all of the milestones that we're going to achieve in the future.
Yes.
So
Iowa,
your test. Back to Iowa. Back to my testing at Iowa. We brought two cars. We brought a cup car, which was my cup primary before it got beat up in. Oh God, where did I crash? I think Richmond. I think. In Nascar, so that had been out for a couple of weeks. We got that back 2 days ago, and so we took that. We were originally going to take a fresh chassis we just got in.
Oh yeah.
But we decided to go with the old primary to kind of shake that thing back down and get it into working order. And we also brought our third string GNS car, which ran at Springfield because I didn't want to tear up the primary.
Yeah.
Because I knew I'd need it. So I decided it would be better to just tear up the third string that I'm more likely to just loan out to somebody, or in case of emergency break glass kind of car. So we shook that down at Iowa as well. Each car got a 15 and 25 lap run. I think I got actually a pretty good amount of information about it.
Nice.
About the track, about the cars, about the way the thing's going to drive when we get to when we get back there in 3.5 weeks, 2.5 weeks for
2.5 weeks.
for the ESSCS finale. Where I also I have nurse cars racing at Iowa in 2 days on Thursday, so it was good to get laps there as well in the cup car. Though it won't be the chassis we're bringing. But honestly, if I can for a few minutes, not a few minutes, just 2 or 3 minutes.
Go for it. We're podcasting.
We're a podcast. One of the bigger things, one of the bigger things condition-wise that we were keeping an eye on was actually me. I've been over the past few races. I've been dealing with some back issues, some back tightness, and
Yeah,
a
because
lot of
you actually
the
use
test was.
a whole setup with wheels and a wheel and a
I have
pedal.
wheel and pedals, wheel pedals and stick.
Hey, you race
So
like a real
it
man,
started.
brother.
Yeah, yeah. So it came.
Yeah, you hear that,
It
Connor?
started up around. It started up around Nascar, and it was really a pretty big issue at Wilkesboro. It was probably like it was a, if pace was number one issue, me was number two issue, and it was just one of those things you just push through. We had to, and we kind of turned this test at Iowa into from a shakedown into kind of just a just more of an evaluation of myself, seeing how I can just see if I can just see how I'm feeling in the car at the moment.
Yeah, we hope you're all right. Don't
And
push yourself.
well, I mean, we'll see, but it was I mean, I've got when it, with second in score and the Essex Championship thing deal going on. I can't miss races. That's the problem. I'm in the championship hunt / playoffs of every league I'm in right now. I can't miss races. So, we put we actually on the itinerary for the test we had 50 lap runs planned, but I don't think we got to the 25 lap runs with the Cup car, and then I was kind of starting to feel it there, and Marty was with us, of course, and he was giving me kind of grace about it. He was telling me I didn't have to do the 25 laps in the GNS, but I wanted to just because that's extremely valuable laps.
Yeah, especially with
But
Essex.
right, but I did the 25 and basically parked the car in the hauler and just jumped in the truck and went straight home.
Mm-hmm.
Straight back to the shop and then straight home. It was getting late. We didn't have the time for it for 250 lap runs. But moreover, I didn't have it in me to do 150 lap run.
Yeah.
So it's a day-to-day thing. I'm keeping an eye on it. Me and Marty are staying in touch about it.
Marty.
After
Marty.
after the Essex finale, we're gonna hopefully, if it hasn't exponentially exacerbated itself, and I'm going with all of the X words here, all of them. If it hasn't exponentially exacerbated my whatever X word that you want to throw in there,
Yep.
then we'll come back to it in the first week of May. But if it's I've got one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 races until then, and 2 tests, as well as a couple of races, and I'm not sure if I'm going to run. So like something between 10 races and 2 tests.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. And I'm kind of gonna have to see how I can handle it for the moment. But at the moment, I'm not 100%, but it's one of those things where I kind of just have to drive.
Yeah, I understand.
And I'm second in points and score. I'm third in Essex. I'm fourth in Nascar, and comfortably in the playoffs there.
Yeah.
So while I would love to take a couple of weeks off and not and rest my back trying to figure out how to come back better and without this issue, I would in a heartbeat. But I have to compress those 2 weeks into basically tomorrow to figure out how to work around the discomfort, because it's not necessarily pain, but it's just discomfort.
Yeah.
So I'm working. Me and Marty and the training staff at Kona 2 have been the training staff at Kona too, just remarkable.
Thank you.
Like
I said, I pay them good money.
They've been working. Yeah, they've been working really well with me and giving me all of the options they can to make sure that I can get on the track, even if it's not necessarily what they would want me to do. And I know it's one of those things where like a doctor necessarily would advise, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe skip something like the score race or skip a NERSCAR race. But they get it. They know where I'm at with this and where I am, and they're extremely understanding, and they're working with me to try and make sure that I don't miss any races, and those races that I don't miss, I can do in at least relative comfort. So, huge shout out to the Kona 2 training staff for trying to keep me in this, because we've got wins to chase, we've got championships to chase, and
you're close.
And now is not the time, you know.
Yeah.
Now is not the time to back down with even if one would consider me injured, now is not the time I'm backing down. I'll back down when I'm done.
Well,
pretty much. That's where I'm sitting. I'll back down when I'm done.
That's
But
inspiring.
I'm just, again, keeping an eye on myself, while I'm bringing cars.
An absolute geezer move by me. Whoopsie.
Oh, did you leave?
I did. I'm back to.
Whoops. But yeah, just keeping an eye on myself while we're going. While I'm taking the car to the track, and while I'm getting to the track, and while I'm driving.
Yeah.
And if anything comes up, it's not. It's a weird thing for me, because it's not. Most teams wouldn't bring a trainer to a test.
But the Kona 2 staff,
and
we care.
But we decided as a team, me and Marty, that if possible, we should have a trainer at the track with us, and we were able to have one at the track, and we were in extensive contact throughout the session, throughout the day, figuring out how I'm gonna be able to make this work. But yeah, huge shout to them. They do a great job, and shout to Connor for putting a fantastic program together.
I try. I try.
But yeah, looking forward to the next week of races. Gonna be hauling some cars down.
Connor's got a tear running down his cheek right now.
I do. Actually, I do. My allergies are kicking up here. So,
my allergies. Oh wow.
No, I'm being serious.
But yeah, I mean, the Holland thing's fun too, and I think we should we can get into that maybe next week if we don't have a guest.
We are running out of time here, so
I would love to talk about.
But yeah,
there's always a little more.
Yeah, we are running a bit low.
We can do.
But
I guess we can.
So
we can cover
I guess
one
we go.
more thing.
I guess we go with a round of final thoughts. Okay.
Nothing wrong with podcasting.
We'll cover quickly the preseason for NARL Season 11. I believe Cameron just announced that, pulling it up here, Season 11 of NARL will likely start on April 26th, which is next week.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So
shortest off season in the.
He does those short off seasons.
So yeah.
Did he drop the schedule?
I'm not sure yet. It doesn't look like it. Let me look here. But while I'm looking, I will just say, no, he hasn't uploaded it yet. That
Okay.
I'm fairly excited. I plan on running full time this season, because I only ran the last half of season 10, so hopefully, I mean, I've been having some decent runs in Gnarl, not amazing runs, but decent runs. So I'm hoping I'm at least in the championship picture. We'll see. Honestly, I feel like Gnarl's been helping me run more consistent. Instead of running once a week, I'm running 2 races a week, and then I do just single car testing here and there. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited.
Probably what I'm probably gonna get into something like that. What if Gnarl starts up? Something along those lines.
And you're gonna run a race for Rust Bucket, aren't you? Or at least you're planning to.
That's the plan, yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
And of course,
that's the plan.
Dakota is hopefully
I forgot
going
about something.
to tag along as our spotter again.
I forgot about something. What does Dakota got to say?
I forgot about an
Breaking
announcement
news.
that came up in
Breaking news.
since the last time I was on. I am going to be competing in my first Indianapolis 500
Oh
event
yeah, that's
on May
that's pretty sick.
22nd. I will be
that's
competing
actually
in the
pretty sick.
NERSCAR Indy 500. And now that we've got this sorted, I would also like to announce that we have gotten primary sponsorship from Interstate Batteries for the race.
they've been a great partner.
We'll be bringing a big green machine to the Yard of Bricks.
Good.
And that chassis, we ordered the chassis, the IndyCar chassis, on the 10th, and that should be coming in on Saturday. And we have a test scheduled in Chicago for Wednesday.
Awesome.
So we're gonna be getting that car in and taking it straight to the racetrack and shaking it down, getting a grip of the car and of the track.
Yeah, I forgot
I
that
was
you
fortunate
had
enough.
told me about this.
Yeah, I had asked you if that was.
Yeah, Dakota
if
approached me about it.
If you wanted to be a team owner in Indy 500.
Yeah, so
And you were like, cool. So
hopefully we can get an
while
Indy
there's
win.
no official teams in the race,
It is a Kona
I'm
2
going to be
car.
flying the Kona 2 number, and it is a Kona 2 entry.
Hopefully we can.
So
make
yeah,
something
we're gonna be
We're gonna be
I
putting
hope
a
so.
lot of money into that car.
IndyCar's. Yeah,
Hopefully it's
IndyCar's
fast.
gonna be. It's new for me. Yeah, I hope it's fast. I think it will be.
I mean,
Um,
our stock car program is pretty decent, so I'm hoping we can.
Yeah, I mean, our
something
stock cars
going
are
in
doing
with our
pretty great. And
IndyCar
I mean,
entry.
this is a one-off thing, so hopefully we have a fast car for the race, but we'll have to see.
Interesting. That's got me excited. Wow.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm excited for next Wednesday for when we go down to up to Chicagoland and test.
So when is the Indy race, Dakota?
May 22nd.
If there's not a stream of it, maybe we could get some in-car and
May
something you could
22nd.
look
Well,
forward
it's going to
to
be
on
on
the
a
channel.
Tuesday?
It's going to be on a Wednesday, Braden.
Wednesday.
I'll do some tests. I'll do some PC tests.
Yeah, as long
to
as
see
it's
how my PC can handle streaming and Ring.
yeah.
It should be able to, but we'll see.
We'll see.
If it can, I will absolutely. I would love to have it on board for Indianapolis.
We could stream that. It'd
and
be fun.
yeah, that would be nice. But yeah, that's that's a month ahead.
Yep.
And
Lots of practice and preparation.
given my circumstances at the moment, I'm not thinking that far ahead right now. So
understandable, but that's probably a good place to stop it. We've got a breaking news: IndyCar, Indy 500. So definitely look forward to that. We'll probably have a guest next week. We'll see. Big thank you to Kez Hiller for being our guest last week. It was great having them on, so hopefully we can get another exciting guest. We have a few definitely lined up that are interested in hopping in here, so I've been having fun doing this,
I mean,
guys.
we did the one-off. We did the one, and then we started just getting flooded.
Yeah.
Kind of we have like, if we're doing every other weeks, we have like a month or two.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Of guests lined up, and that's just awesome. I'm really proud of us for that.
I have to say thank you again. I know I do this at the end of every episode, but thank you to both of you for for joining in on this and making it
Of
happen.
course, thank you
And
from Connor. I always like a little thank you from Connor.
Thank you to everyone
Yeah,
who's listened.
thank you to you, Connor, for
Connor
recording and editing this and bleeping out all of Braden's nonsense.
That's right. The Kona 2 brand is something that I really enjoy having. So the Kona 2 brand
expanding rapidly.
Yeah, it's been around for a few years now.
Hopefully in the next couple of eventually we can get the broadcast thing going up maybe on an occasion.
Yeah, that's the plan. Is hoping to broadcast a couple races. We'll see how that goes, but
we'll see. We can talk about that.
Yep. I don't have much else to say. If you guys are good,
I'm all set.
Braden, you got anything to say?
Oh, yeah, I mean that was good, man.
Send it out.
That was a fun one.
It was. I think this is probably our longest one yet. So if you stuck along this far, thank you.
If you lasted this long, I'm sorry and thank you.
Thank you, and we're sorry. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a guest next week, and yeah, thanks again for listening, and we'll see you then.